Hey, it's Jay, and today I'm doing a book review for Let's Talk About Love by Kann. This is part of the one of the half a dozen or so book reviews I'm doing for Pride Month, where I upload a video every day, and it is currently December 17th, which I am filming this because I went to go ahead and pre-film this so I can have plenty of time to edit the more complicated videos and so I don't forget what happened. And I've already forgotten some of what happens because I read this in the summer, so I want to start off by saying that whoever designed this cover is very smart, because not only is it beautiful, but it's gorgeous, and it includes a woman of color on the front, and I love the font, and purple's my favorite color, and it has a freaking asexual joke saying Alice is gonna ace this dating thing, and us queers love our queer jokes. So Alice is a biromantic, asexual, college-age woman, and the book starts out, in the first couple chapters, her current girlfriend, who I forget the name of, it's kind of irrelevant, breaks up with her because Alice doesn't seem to be enjoying sex when they have sex. And even though Alice tries to explain her asexuality to her now ex-girlfriend, she reacts like it doesn't exist. So Alice, I believe, goes on break after she gets broken up with, and she works in a library, and after she gets back to the apartment she shares with her best friend and her boyfriend, she gets introduced to this new guy who is at her work named Takumi, and I believe he's Japanese. I'm not 100% sure. I think he was Japanese. But they start talking, and at first she doesn't really like him. I forget the reasons why. Like, I'd be like, oh, yes, hot boy in the library, please and thank you. But she starts falling for him, and shortly after that he starts reciprocating her feelings, but she has to navigate her sexuality and how Takumi feels, whether that aspect of relationship is more important to him or if Alice as a person is more important. And as you can see, there are a lot of blue and several pink flags, which means that I liked how a lot of the passages are written, and there were several quotes which I like, and I will read them in a little bit. But I love this book. The asexuality representations novel was throughout it and accurate, at least in my experience. And there's really only one thing I didn't like about it, which I'll talk about briefly. But other than that one thing, the writing was good, the pacing was alright, the characters were well-rounded, and there were several quotes I loved. I forgot to mention I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it was 4.5. Yep. And everyone should read this book, if not for the asexuality representation, then for the story, because this was light and fluffy and adorable. So the one thing I didn't like was towards the middle of the end, there was this weird time jump, and I'm not really sure what happened, but it just felt like it was weird, and it was unclear as to how much time passed. Pretty close toward the beginning, like on page 9, Alice is talking about love, and she's saying that love shouldn't hinge solely on exposing your physical body to another person. Oh my god. Love shouldn't hinge solely on exposing your physical body to another person. That love was intangible, universal. It was whatever someone wanted to be and should be represented as such. For Alice, it was staying up late and talking about nothing, everything, and anything because you didn't want to sleep. You'd missed them too much. It was catching yourself smiling at them because, wow, how does this person exist before they caught you? It was the intimacy of shared secrets, the comfort of unconditional acceptance. It was a confidence in knowing no matter what happened, that person would always be there for you. If Alice couldn't even tell Margot she was asexual, then no, she hadn't been in love. And there, in the book, there are a lot of, like, lines and parentheticals, which I don't see very often, and it was really cute, and, like, it helped for the most part. There's only 1 or 2 times I think where it's confusing, but for the most part it was easy to understand. The second quote I liked was this analogy to what sex was. Sex, Alice had decided, was like jogging. All the people in the world could say it's so amazing and great for you, but if you don't care about jogging, you'd rather spend your time with a Netflix queue and a box of donuts. I feel like she's talking I feel like Alice was talking to a therapist, and she was like talking about asexuality and like how she didn't want to be representative or something. And Dr. Burrs is saying that this isn't something where I can tell you to go read a book and it'll methodically list the steps of how to come out. It's a personal and individualized experience. My advice to you is be prepared to educate. It may feel unfair that the onus of that responsibility will fall on you, but when most people think that A stands for ally, you'll have to speak louder, with bravery and dignity, to be heard. You'll have to be willing to inform and educate. And you will have to know what it is time to remove yourself from situations and disconnect from those who either do not understand or are unwilling to. You have to do what is right for you. My favorite part about that is like telling her that she's going to, whether she likes it or not, have to be someone who educates people on what asexuality is, because it's not a well enough known thing. It's not a common vocab word for many people, and so that kind of, for me, that was like, you're right. And then there were a few like other things I liked, not necessarily quotes, but like there was toward the end a mention of her talking about questioning why the government would automatically assume parents would help their kids and like finance and stuff. She was Black, female, and queer, and that there weren't many spaces left for her to feel safe online, and the real world had just started to get its claws into her. That was something that I felt like needed to be pointed out. And there is an important thing that Takumi, I believe is who's talking. He's talking about his ex to Alice, and he's like, I don't think it's wrong to cut people who feel toxic to you out of your life, even if you love them, which is something that I struggle with, and so I bookmarked it to remind myself. Then there's Dr. Boris, her therapist, again, is trying to differentiate between arousal and attraction, and he says, a common misconception is the difference between arousal and attraction. Arousal is a physiological response, whereas attraction is an experience, and they're not mutually exclusive. That's something that a lot of people confuse, and so it was good that it was in there. There was also something which I had never seen before, which I've never seen in person either, but Alice is talking about how in high school, their health teacher had actually like said the word asexual, which never happens. Like, no, I had to research this shit. But again, I feel like everyone should read this, especially since it's Pride Month. I know my friend who is in Tallahassee is Black and asexual. She loves this book, and I enjoyed it a lot. Again, rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And if you don't read it for the asexual representation, then read it for the story and the writing, because it's superb. So that's all I got for today. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're considering reading this book, and if you're asexual, then tell me down below whether or not what I've mentioned was kin to how your experiences were. And don't forget to subscribe or ring the little bell so you get notified whenever I upload. I usually upload during Wednesdays and Saturdays, but during the month of June, during Pride Month, I'm uploading every day, so don't forget to come back tomorrow to see what I upload. Thanks for watching. Bye.